Okay, here we go. This should be the last one. This is part 3. And first we start with Shorty. Shorty, you talked about puppy mills. This was very well done. Good use of visuals. A very compelling presentation. You have a good appearance. Truly, this was your best speech of the semester. It was interesting, it was compelling, and it was well presented. You can't say much more good than that. The audience intro was too quick. This overall was just a solid, well done speech. Shows that you have increased each week and gotten a little bit better, and I think that's just absolutely crucial in this class to performance. And just congratulations. All of my comments are goods and excellence on the matrix, so there's nothing that you're going to pick up here other than well done, and especially the topic choice and the presentation and the establishing of your credibility in that speech. Well done. Okay, we move on to Raccoon. You spoke about abortion. Again, very hard to understand you because of English being a second language. Watch vocalized pauses. Talked about that already. Us and ahs and that kind of thing. Stand still. Don't do this. It gets to be very annoying. Your visuals added nothing to your speech, and the reflection from the lights in the room on the screen made it very difficult to see. It sounds to me like your audience went out the door before you started your speech. There's a horrible echo in that room. I've mentioned that there are 4 of you that seem to do it all in the same room. The room is long. The camera is too distant away from where you're standing. And so we get an echo, which when you are working on English as a second language, combined with not having a good mic presence, it makes it even more difficult. When you are presenting contrasting opinions, it's hard to tell who you are talking about. So if you're talking about the pro-life and then you're talking about pro-choice, it's got to be clear which side you're speaking from at the time and what your point is. You can't bounce back and forth, so the audience isn't quite sure what you're talking about. I think you said, I think the law should be changed to have people take advantage of abortion. Now think about that. I think you said, I think the law should be changed to have people take advantage of abortion. And my question is, how does that persuade anyone? Who are you trying to persuade there? In other words, I'm not exactly sure where you came down in this speech. I think you're pro-life, but I'm not exactly sure. Again, working on the language difficulties, it was difficult. All right, next up is Racer. Racer, you were getting real close on the time. You need to know how long your speeches last. Your speech actually ran 6 minutes and 47 seconds, and since I give 15 seconds of slop time on either side, you just came in under the wire. You turned off your camera after you showed the audience. That's a huge no-no. And you talked about, according to Dr. Ross. You gave no first name. I'm going to talk about that in a second. When you give somebody as a source, you can't say, according to Keith or according to Dr. Klein. Who is he? Why are you even using him as a source? You got to establish that. You had an interesting attempt on a visual, but it's hard to see the details on the visual. Your flow is extremely disjointed, and some thoughts just don't seem to end. You talked about the likelihood of a serious injury and just stopped. I mean, it's like a fragment of a sentence. You can't just stop and not continue the thought. You left me hanging on that. Now, in your prep outline, speaking about Dr. Ross, you call him Dr. Alan Ross. In your bibliography, you call him Dr. Ross Allen. I may not have noticed that if I hadn't known a gentleman from the School of Music at Indiana University whose name was Ross Allen, and so it really drew attention to it. But again, 3 things wrong. You got him referred to as 2 different people in your notes and in your bibliography, and you only call him by his last name when you are actually giving the speech. So you need to work on that. Visual aids, what you tried to do was very interesting. You want to be careful on that. And everything else, you know, okay, you and I have communicated, and you have gotten a little bit better in what you can do, and I would just encourage you. I know that you're not exactly the biggest fan of speech class, but you're doing all right. Okay, Mommers, you spoke about recycling. Good eye contact, excellent use of speaker notes. When you cite sources, tell us why that person is an authority. You talked about Kataki Mizra, and you never, you know, okay, Kataki Mizra, all right, that's like John Jones. So why are you citing him or her? And what's their point? What is it about them that makes them a source? You got to really be careful on that. Long intro to get to your speech. It was a very long time, almost 2 minutes before you got to what the topic was. On your visuals, show them longer and tell me what it's about. What you know, is it about what can be recycled? For instance, you had one of my questions is, what is it about Wheaties that can be recycled? Is it the box? You showed a lot of stuff, but you didn't talk about most of what was there. And tell us what recycling you're talking about. You have a minor tisk. Remember that? Only 3 audience members. That doesn't make it. Too much camera movement. Watch the vocalized pauses, the ahs and the ums. And this was a convincing presentation. Slow down just a bit. And where are the schools you mentioned? You need a little more detail and how and what they did. You just say Goshen School or Jones School. You got to tell more about it. Mighty. Nice style, good voice. This was a very well delivered speech. I liked your approach. You say you're talking about pollution, then you go to oil. Why the abrupt transition? Good use of logic and presentation of facts. Your speech runs 6 minutes and 40 seconds. That is short. Your best speech so far, much improved from the start of class. Nice try on the visuals. Hold it still so I can see it. Nice work in pointing to what the colors on the chart meant. Well done. Just a tad short. All right, and finally we have Spider. Spider, you look good for this speech, wearing your company shirt. Wrong camera shot, can't see the visuals. No obvious use of notes while you're speaking. No sign of speaker notes. There's no flow to your speech. It seems disjointed. A lot of distracting locus and motor noises while you're speaking. You're too far from the camera. That's one of the contributing factors to that. You talk about customer satisfaction percentage, but you never tried to explain to me what customer, you tried to do it, but it was late before you told me what it was. Their wind noise in the microphone is covering your audio. Your speech ran 5 minutes and 29 seconds. That is far too short. Your sources are not clearly cited in your speech. There are no speaker notes. There's no bibliography. The camera is so far away I can't really tell about eye contact. Your grammar is spotty. We always having is one of the things you said instead of we're always having. Vocalized pauses, ums, and it's not clear you were trying to persuade me to leave my store and come to your store. So you need to make sure that what you're trying to persuade me of is very clear. Okay, we'll talk to you one more time before the class is over, and that's it for the critiques.